So let's start by talking about this page that we're looking at. This is the TaxSlayerBooks.com site. This is where you'll go to log in anytime you want to do your books. So to log in, you're going to go hit the blue sign-in button and hit Books Online. If you haven't set up an account yet, you'll hit either one of these Start for Free buttons, and that'll take you to this page where you're going to register a username and password and enter in a contact name and a phone number. On the following page, you'll start your first company, and then enter in a credit card that you can take out at any point during the free 30-day trial and after that, but your card won't be charged if you cancel it out. So let's go back to the site. You'll notice this little pop-up that comes up on the bottom right-hand side of the page. This is our save the date, so anytime we have an upcoming webinar, it's going to be listed down here. Now, I'd recommend, even if you've been using it for a while, using the program for a while, go ahead and keep an eye on that and see if we have any upcoming courses or classes that you might find helpful, especially as it comes closer to tax season and filing payroll and income taxes. And to get started, we're going to go ahead. One more thing, we've got a blog over here that I keep updated every week or so that also gives you helpful tips for using our program and for bookkeeping in general. Let's go ahead and sign in. We're going to go into an account that I've got set up. It's got a bunch of phony information that we can play around with. So this is the user console. If you're a professional bookkeeper, or if you're a small business owner and you have several accounts, they're all going to be listed right here under your companies. You'll notice I've got two here. This first one is really nothing, but so what will happen, and this is something to note, anytime you log out incorrectly, this is going to pop up. Apparently I do that often, so you just have to hit continue to get right on through it. In addition, this will let you know if somebody else is logged into the program with you, in case you have multiple people handling the books for the company. So we'll continue through. To get back to the other companies, if you're doing multiple, as we were talking about before, you just hit the Add Switch Companies. That'll take you back to the user console where you can navigate between them. The first thing I want to note is as you're using the program, anytime you want to get back to this screen, which we refer to as the dashboard, you want to hit the home icon. If you hit the back button on your browser, it'll knock you out of the program and sometimes causes a little confusion. So whenever you want to get back to this screen, just hit that home icon. Alright, so like I said, this is what we call our dashboard, and it was designed so that you would have all your most common features right at your fingertips. So we've got a box for payroll, we've got a box for recording income, we've got a box for recording expenses, and we have little buttons here on the top right corner as well as tabs that help you navigate through each of those sections. And you'll see over on the right we have a income and expense chart which reflects your income and expenses. The chart is on a 6-month basis, and then above that we have a numerical value that keeps you up to date on a monthly date basis. Above that we have alerts for our billing system and for our invoicing system, so you can stay on top of any outstanding payments that you haven't received yet and any payments that you need to make. Above that we've got a little message tab, so anytime we're doing work on the site or have something that we want to fill you in on, we're going to post a little message right here, so keep an eye on that. First thing we're going to do today is get right into payroll. And like I said, we have our most common features here: your weekly payroll run, adding employees, and then editing employees. You'll notice at the top, across the top toolbar, we've got a tab titled Payroll that has quite a few extras, including your quarterly reports and your payroll setup. But for now, we're going to go ahead and run through adding an employee, then we're going to run a week's payroll. Alright, so adding an employee is pretty simple. You just got to have a name, a date of birth, and a social, and then an address. You guys may recognize the new employee's name from the old karate movies. And then you're going to choose your frequency of pay. It's either going to be weekly or bi-weekly, monthly, annually. So we're going to go weekly and pick hourly for Danielson. And then if you're coming to us late in the year, or really even after January 1st, and you've run a new payroll for that calendar year, you're going to want to click on the beginning balances and enter in any hourly wages and withholdings up to date, and then you want to put in the day's date that you've joined TaxSlayer books, so that'll keep all your payroll taxes up to date and keep your records true. If you have direct deposit set up on our system, you're going to want to put in your employee's email address and a unique password, because we're going to email out their pay stub every time you run a direct deposit payroll, and in order for them to view the pay stub, they're going to need that password. So if their account's ever compromised, Joe Schmo is not going to have access to your employees' pay stubs. Then you'll enter the bank name, account, and routing numbers, and you're good to go. On the following page, you'll enter in their wages, and you'll notice we have on the bottom we have quite a few options for additional pay types. So in case you have a separate pay rate that you have on the weekends, or an overtime rate, or even a reimbursement, quarterly bonus, whatever, we've got an option for you. If you don't see what you need here, you can add in your own. And one thing to note here, if it's a pay type that's you don't want to have taxes withheld on, like for instance a reimbursement, you're going to click on Advanced, make sure that none of the withholdings are selected, and hit Finish, and that'll keep those wages from being taxed. On the following page, the W-4 pops up. Danielson's a single man. Easy enough, and then you're done. And that's going to take you to a list of your employees. You'll notice the bottom half has the boxes checked next to their names. That means that they're inactive. So if you have an employee that moves on, or for whatever reason is no longer with you, you click their inactive box. That way we continue tracking your expenses for that employee, but they don't pop up on your weekly payroll. And at any point you can go in and edit them, change their personal information, or their pay rates or their withholdings. So then, once you have all your employees entered in, running payroll literally takes a few seconds. You want to set your starting check number. If you have direct deposit set up, of course you're not going to set a starting check number, but and then you set the payment date. We're going to go for Friday. We don't want them cashing those checks before there's money in the bank. And then it's as simple as posting their hours. Oh, we got Tom Cruise on the crew. He hadn't made movies in a little while. He needed some extra cash. And just like that, we calculate everything for you, their pay, their withholdings, and then their net pay. If for any reason you want to go in and preview the checks to make sure that all the numbers look correct before you print them, you want to select the box next to their name, hit Preview Checks. You can also preview the hours to make sure they were all entered correctly. That way you don't have to go through the hassle of voiding out checks and having to reprint. So once everything is good to go, let's get rid of these guys. You can just hit the Process Payroll button. It says you want to process. It's going to spin just for a second there. We'll give you a list of the paychecks with their check numbers, you'll hit print checks. Then it'll go through a couple questions. Is the printer ready? Did the checks print correctly? And you're done. Then it's going to spit us back out to the dashboard where you will be able to see all the most recent payroll checks right here in the payroll box. And in addition, they're all reflected over on your income and expense chart. You'll notice the expenses for September are outrageous compared to the rest of the year. It's because I've done quite a few demos and I haven't deleted the payroll yet. So old Seth got paid twice. If at any point you need to go in and edit any of these, like I said, you just click on the wheel. It takes you to a list of your employees where you can go in and edit and delete if you need to. Setting up payroll is going to be up here in the payroll tab. This is where you'll enter your state withholding, your state unemployment, and direct deposit information. The direct deposit setup is pretty simple. You're going to send us a document signed with a copy of a ID. It authorizes us to draft your account. We'll test it, and once we see that the funds are flowing smoothly, you'll be set up, and all you have to do then is enter in your employee's bank information. Your quarterly and annual payroll tax reports are over here on the right side, your Form 940, 941, and then your state and federal unemployment worksheets are over here. In addition, if at any point during the year you want to check your tax liability, see how much you're going to owe, you just click that button. And I need to work on this internet connection, and we will generate the report for you. Let's click that home icon, get us back out to the home page. And we're going to move on to income and customers. The income and customers, the functions that we thought would be most often used would be recording income, creating sales invoices, receiving payments off those invoices, and printing out receipts. So let's go ahead and add some new income. This would be if you provided a service and you received a payment without having invoiced this customer. You'll click on the add income. Up here we've got it. Only have one bank account set. If you have multiple bank accounts, you'll be able to choose between them. Make sure the date is correct. And if you don't have this customer entered in already, you need to enter them on the fly. We've got an option for that. Put Steve in there. Up. It's going to give you the option to enter in an address if you need to. We're just going to add him in there. We don't really care what his address is. We just want to make sure we get this check from him. Just say you're a landscaping company. That will do that. You just want to record that he paid you $100 on the 17th. Let's hit the home icon, get back out to the screen, to the dashboard, and you'll see it listed right there in your income box. It's also reflected over here in your chart. Now, if this is someone that you're going to be invoicing on a regular basis, you're going to want to put in a profile for the customer. So I'm trying to talk and type at the same time. It's killing me. So this way, whenever you go to generate an invoice, it's going to automatically fill in all this information for you. So you've got the billing terms, you've got the account that it's going to be coming out of, and we're going to go ahead and put in a shipping and billing address. So now, when you go to create an invoice, by hitting this plus sign, go down to new invoice, you type in the gentleman that you are invoicing, And as you can see, everything on the form has filled in for you: his address, the terms of the billing, and then if you need to add anything, any comments, we'll say Dennis Smith is maybe one of my tenants. We need him to clean up the yard. Whoop. We got some neighbors complaining. We just want to let them know that without being too angry about it. And $750, not a bad deal. And then if you have additional things that you're invoicing for, if you're an auto mechanic and you did their tires and you did an oil change and you changed an air filter, you've got additional lines for each of those. For the time being, we're just going to save that, and we'll generate an image of the invoice for you. And this is something that you can save as a file on your computer, so you can email out to your customer, or you can print it and mail it out. So now you'll notice in the top right we've got an extra outstanding invoice. So if you receive a payment from this gentleman, we can type in his name. It's going to pull up all the invoices that he has outstanding. So let's say he came in that day, he wanted to pay for half of rent. So we let him do it. As long as he came back the next day, he keeps promising he will. Let's receive that payment. The other option for receiving them is right here in the income and expense box. You'll see that Dennis Smith still has $400 outstanding. So we'll click on that invoice. It's going to pull him up again. He ran out and did some work, came up with that extra $400 and gets to live in that apartment for another month. So after you have customers that do come in and pay, you've got the option then to print out a sales receipt for them. We've got one for each of the transactions. We'll generate this, and just like with the invoice, you've got the option to save it as any of these file types and email it or print it out for them. Okay, moving right along, we're going to check out the expenses and vendors box. It's set up very similar to the income and customers box. You've got all your most recent transactions listed right out front. And I didn't mention this before, but you can click into any of these transactions and take a look at what they were. You can edit them, delete them, and hit that cancel button and get back out. That goes for this box as well, and payroll. So we've got your expenses, your bills, and checks that need to be printed. So let's go ahead and punch in a new expense. Let's say you ran to the store and had to buy some groceries for a job, had to buy some supplies, cleaning supplies, what have you. We're going to add in Walmart. I'm going to say it was miscellaneous. Cleaning supplies for $50. Got that date set there. And you've got the option here, if this is something that you know of ahead of time or something you've been invoiced for, you can print out a check straight from our program, or you can just save it and record it to the program. We're going to hit that home icon and come back out. And let's scroll back down, and your cleaning supplies are listed right here. If this is someone that you are getting billed by often, you've got this this option to enter in a full-on profile for them. That way, every time you go to record a bill, it's going to autofill for you, just like the invoices did. On receipt. And if you have employees that you are, or I should say contractors that you're paying as 1099 employees, you'll select it there as a 1099 miscellaneous non-employee compensation. Alright, so let's go back out. We're going to record a bill for this landscaping company that sends us an invoice every month. And let's say September. He charges us $1.25. We got a couple properties that he mows for us. And then we'll save it. So now when you go back out to the dashboard, you'll notice again that we've got an alert there for you, so you can see you've got an unpaid bill. You can select it there and print a check to hand to Joe, or you can go down to the vendor box and hit print checks, and we'll give you a listing of the ones that you need to pay. You click on it, it brings up that same page, and you can print the check. So if you have contractors that you're paying on a weekly basis this way, you're going to enter in bills for each of them, and then you can print their checks out as if they're vendors. So now a couple more things before we run out of time. I want to run through the reports that we have for if you're a professional bookkeeper. I mean, I know that your clients are asking for the status of their company all the time. They want their profit and loss sheet. So we've got an income statement over here that does just that. We generate this for you. At the top you'll see we have two date fields, so you can pick what time period you want the report to reflect. If they want it on a monthly or a quarterly or a year-to-date basis, you can do that from there. And then as you are looking at it, if you see something that doesn't look right, this report is functional, so you can click on, you see the sales are $19.50, that looks a little off. You can click on it and we'll bring it to a list. This is also clickable, so you can go in and dig a little further and see that receipt and make sure that everything looks right. A couple other important ones are your balance sheet, so you can know exactly where your money's at, and your trial balance. And again, each of these are functional. If you are a professional bookkeeper, or if you're a small business owner and you want to see a specific list of reports every time, but you don't want to go through the hassle of picking each one out of that list, you can go in here and add in all the reports that you want to generate every month. Let's get that spell check going, and hit the run reports, and we will generate each of them for you, so you don't have to go through. It's just a little bit of a time saver, and you can again save all these as files and email them, or you can go ahead and print them out. Right. I'll let you know we've got, if you haven't visited our site yet and you're just kind of checking us out, we've got several different packages. One's the full payroll bookkeeping package for one company at $19.95. We've got an unlimited version for professional bookkeepers at $59.95 a month. And if you're not doing payroll and you're doing books only, then it's going to be the $6.95 for the income and expenses. If you got to go, I appreciate you stopping in. For those of you who are sticking around, I just wanted to go through this menu as well. The daily work has all the options that you saw in the quick boxes right on the desktop, or right on the dashboard. And then these two over to the right, we've got your bank reconciliation, which I know a lot of you will find very helpful. And then we also have the journal entries. Especially for those of you that are doing after-the-fact bookkeeping, if you're tracking payroll for an entire year, in December, this is definitely going to be the fastest option for you. Let's see. And one more thing I wanted to point out is, as you're doing books, when you're going to look for a transaction and you can't find it, over here on the left on each of the features for payroll, for expenses, and for recording income, the left side of the page we've got a little search tool that allows you to search by date, search by the customer's name, by the amount, by the reference number. All right, well, we are right at just under the 30-minute mark. I'm going to call it quits now so I can start contacting you. Again, I appreciate all of you for stopping in today. I hope that you found it informative, and I hope that it's something that you'll find to work for your company. If it doesn't, that's okay, but let me know through email or over the phone. Again, thanks for coming. I hope you all are having a great day, and have a great rest of the week and a good weekend.